Yo, what up? 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 Uh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I don't even know why I'm doing this. This is crazy. Spur of the moment. Just a mini bar. Uh, had a great show on CBSI Top 10 tonight. Be sure to check that out. Um, hold on. Let me load up the YouTube, see what's going on with this. Just waiting for somebody. Got a couple of people coming through tonight. Just gonna bug out for a little while. Thinking about doing the show tomorrow. Depends on how I feel when I get to the crib. But sit here, wait, just chill out. Got a lot of things to talk about. Big, huge spec week this week. Got a couple of people coming through. Right now I got no views right now, but it is what it is. I think so. Just chill out for a couple of seconds and wait for the flock. Boo 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 boo. Oh shit! Just like that, we got four. What up, people? State your names, state your business, state your gangster. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys speaking on. Let me know what you guys like. You know what I'm saying? Got a couple of people coming through, so just sit tight. You know what I mean? Thank you for joining us. Briefly, it's a little brief joint. You know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy. Do got to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Got some special. Well, I mean, he's a special guest, but you know he's been here before. He knows how this works. So, um, we're gonna shoot the shit. A couple of seconds. You know what I mean? Just shooting the shit. That's what it is. The mini bar. Mini bar. I like that name. Let me know what you guys think. What you guys are specking on? You know what I'm saying? What's hot? What's not? What you guys think of this whole? I mean, we're gonna be talking about Miles Morales a lot. I ain't even gonna hold you. So if you don't like Miles Morales, you don't like the shit that's going on with him, then you might want to leave. So let's see. Let's see what it is. You know what I'm saying? Oh, got a guest coming on. Let me go to this shit. No, not here yet. Tired, man. What you guys got planned for the weekend? Happy Father's Day, by the way. All the fathers out there doing your thing. It's always good to be in a kid's life. I'm telling you, it's a good thing. Damn, I don't want to go to work tomorrow, man. You gotta make that money, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. I hate talking to myself. I should have postponed this till a little bit later. We'll see. Let's see what happens. So you should just skip the first. How long have I been on? Patrick Valeriano. Shout out to Patrick. He's day one A1. You know what I mean? That's my man right there. Gotta get him on one of the shows one time. Might do a chat tomorrow. Not sure. The thing with drunken chat is I don't plan it anymore. It just sort of happens. I didn't plan this, and I'm really not gonna go. I'm probably going for like an hour and a half. Like I said, I gotta work tomorrow, man. I can't. I hate working on Saturday. She's trying. I'm tired now. I hope you watched the top 10. Let me know what you thought about the top 10, the hot 10, CBSI. Let me know what you guys thought about that. I wonder if Key Collector will come. I spoke to my man that I died at the. See what's up. Doing a podcast by yourself sucks. This is like being on the phone, and I hate being on the phone. This is why, this is why I rather text and shit. You know what I'm saying? Tired, yo. Hard days work. Stupid scale. Crazy schedule. 4 to 12. Who wants to work a 4 to 12? That's that's the whole shift should be outlawed. 4 to 12. Wake up, you gotta go to work. Come home, you gotta go to bed and go to work next day. It's just terrible. This June 19th, they got me working 4 to 12. I'm crazy. I am crazy. Uh, yeah, you gonna skip this first 5? Lucas, what up, man? I sent you. I sent him a link. No, I didn't send him a link. My bad, Luke. About to be joined. You know I got to be joined by my ace boom, Lucas Fashina. There you go.
Hey, you got me?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I was swimming. I was swimming in death over here. what's good, kid?
Nah, man. Thanks for doing this because I was wanting to do this, but I didn't know who I was going to be able to call up in order to be able to do something tonight. Because in fact, we at Comic Crusaders, we've got a full weekend packed with stuff that we want to do. It's just that we don't have anybody organized enough to do that shit. So
Listen, I'm not gonna go to fucking 4:30 in the morning. I gotta work tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, man. I gotta freaking.
Matter of fucking fact, I'm setting my fucking alarm at as soon as this alarm rings, I'm out of here. So we got. No, don't do that. We're setting the alarm for. No, not 13 hours. No, a.m. We got 1 hour and 34 minutes.
All right, that's good. So so you were talking about 4 to 12. Are you talking about 4 a.m. to 12 p.m.?
Nah, fucking 4 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Oh yeah, that fuck that. Now 4 a.m. to 12 is freaking awesome because you don't run into any traffic, and then on your way back you don't run into any freaking traffic. If you got stuff, if you got stuff to do, you can go ahead and freaking knock it out once you get home and all that stuff.
Give me my old schedule. Give me my midnight to 8. Perfect. Ain't nobody fucking up from midnight to 8, except for me and a couple of crackheads I know.
Midnight to 8 in the morning. Yeah, that's still a good schedule, man. Freaking, I mean, even so, for instance, even if you're a sports fan, right? You get to watch all the sports you want right before you go to work, and then freaking go to work, freaking do your damn thing, go to sleep for a little bit, wake up, watch all the sports that's happening during the day, and then fucking go over to sleep, take another nap before you refresh. So that's a perfect schedule, man. Freaking.
Exactly. So
I'm telling you, people don't know night shift is where it's at.
Night shift is definitely where it's at. Now I'm gonna get ranked to the meets because if you're a speculator and you know what's going on, you know what this show is about. The show is for the drunken speculators, for the speculator at heart. This is the ghetto speculation right here. You know what I mean? So you'll know pick from last week. We get
so it's getting crazier. It's getting crazier. So I know a lot of people are poo pooing and say that's not him and everything. And once again, it may not, but
I think it's Wraith now. Now I look back at it, it might be Wraith.
So it's Wraith versus Null.
Oh, okay.
It's Wraith versus Null because it specifically says in order to get these weapons, I had to defeat the leader. So whoever he's fighting, so the guy in the white hair and everything, that's Wraith. But the dude that he's fighting, that's Null, and that's how he got the weapons. He got I guess you would call it like a necro freaking gun or a necro, whatever you want to freaking call it. They've never actually put a name to it. The necro gun or piece of the necro knife or whatever, and then the motorcycle, all that stuff. That's what he stole from Null.
Got you.
So it got a little crazier this week because in Valkyrie, that's basically what she and Asgardia were fighting. They were fighting pieces of Null and the Void. Right?
Hold on 1 second. I gotta add a couple of people to the stream.
Go ahead, man.
Bolo in the building.
Yo. What's going on, fellas?
We just saying, just talking shit. We're just talking about this Lucas's null spec from last week. You were on last week, right?
Great. Yeah. Matter of fact, it had me thinking about it a lot this week.
So Lucas was just talking about Valkyrie.
Right.
Oh, we got to get some more listeners in. How can we do this?
You gotta advertise beforehand, man. we gotta let them know at like 1:00 in the afternoon. Hey, this thing is going down.
Oh, let me. Before you continue that with that
Go ahead,
null
man.
spec, let me throw this on Let me throw this on IG right quick because I ain't got no other place to throw it on. Bolo, throw this. Tell your people where you at, man.
I'm sending.
Bolo, good people, man. Bolo need new internet, though, but Bolo good people.
Man, we'll be lucky to get some listeners because
this StreamYard don't work with my shit. This StreamYard just don't do it.
I mean, at 1:00 in the morning, it's either eyes closed or cheeks closed. It's one or the other, man.
We got my man Vinny Perez in the building. Yo, Vinny, man, put the link up so people can come check us out, man. Before because we better go balls deep into some null shit.
All right, 1 second.
Mel, I got something to talk to you about. We got to talk about this Calvin Ellis real quick.
Yo, my man. Yeah, we do got to talk about that Calvin Ellis. Doom 143, what up, baby?
Yeah.
Hold on. Not private chat, comments. All right. We building up. We building up. Just so so the first 15 minutes of the show you just skip.
You can always go back and edit it later.
All right, so look, I'm setting my shit to 3:00. I'm pushing my bedtime back to 3:00 in the AM. God, I hope I don't get too drunk. I gotta drink a lot of water. Cause I gotta wake up at 12:00 to get ready for work. That 4 to 12 is just a fucking horrible fucking schedule. Bolo doesn't go to sleep, so Bolo could probably work the whole fucking 24-hour shift. When do you go to bed, Bolo?
Oh, God. But lately I've been going to bed early, but this weekend shit gets loose.
Let me,
I had
I didn't hear a word you said because your internet was crazy.
I said we had meetings. We had meetings this morning, so I've been chilling today.
What comedy meeting?
After that, I was done.
You had comedy meeting?
Yeah, man. You
guys are doing big things, man.
Working on it.
Let me how the fuck do I get the link? Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, this is a bad idea. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. All right, so the first 15 minutes we know to skip. To me. TT. Okay. Who the hell's moving furniture?
Me. Getting comfortable.
Hold on. Let me copy URL. Let me go to YouTube. Shit. All right. So did everybody post a link?
Yeah, I posted.
All right. Post the YouTube link.
I just sent it out.
Let me see. Let me get a picture of what's going on. Okay. If this don't get listens, all right. We got 3 listens. Real collectors will see this and post and start. What? Yo, Doom, please put the link out there. All right, I'm ready to start talking shit. Let me do this. Let me do this. The mini ball. All right, ready? All right, so Lucas, the mini ball comic spec. Boom. All right. So Lucas, you all right? So boom. Let's recap for the people. You know what I'm saying? Um, no. Last
Right,
week you broke some shit. You
right,
you broke some shit.
right.
Uh,
So right now, what I think is either like last week, I thought that there was a possibility that Donny Cates had put something out there in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 that either he didn't understand the the implications of what he wrote, or he was definitely freaking putting it out there to save for later. And this is definitely after everybody was running around with the Thor: God of Thunder number 6. And that's definitely one that's on everybody's mind. That is a cameo of Null. But we're right now. Um, there's definitely implications that from what he put in Guardians of the Galaxy number 3, and where he says, where Wraith says, "Hey, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this guy, and I'm looking for." And he's talking about Exelon, and that the god of the Exelon or the creator of the Exelon is Null. Now, the Exelon goes way back about 13 years, um, and then in there it actually has panels showing him fighting the leader of the Null, and it's got faces and everything. So the implication of that is that if that leader is Null, um, then that probably would be the first appearance, or at least a cameo appearance of Null. Um, Now, I was thinking maybe he just didn't understand the implications of what he wrote, because that's what I took about apart from it until this week, when I was reading Valkyrie, and Valkyrie number, I forget what number they're on now. Right now, number 10 is like the final part of the story, and actually they're actually dealing with the Void. Now, the Void, for those who don't know what the Void is this piece of the Marvel Universe that's very dark. Um, they often just throw shit over there just to get freaking rid of it. Once it gets over there, it's very hard to get out of it. Um, and then that's very important to know, because in the last volume of Venom, Null actually talks about where he came from, and he talks about that for a time he was actually thrown to the void after he freaking cut the head off of one of the gods, and that's where he started building stuff. That's where he built the symbiotes, the Clentar. He built the that's where he built the Exelon, and that's all put out there in volume Venom volume number 3. Now, why Valkyrie was so interesting is because now they're fighting the void, fighting this creation out of that's coming out of the void. It looks very similar to the Clintar. It looks very similar to the X line and everything. And I was like, hold up, how I must have missed this, right? I didn't realize like how long this fight has been going on. So actually, I went back to Valkyrie number 8, and there's a little skull insignia. And that
mm.
skull insignia is important because once you go back to Wraith, that Annihilation Conquest,
Number two.
um, yes, number 2, he specifically says, "Hey, I'm looking for a person to kill my parents," and right there, boom, is that same insignia. So that means for me is that as a writer, they're definitely trying to make that a part of the connective tissue. Is it going to pan out? Maybe not, because these writers and Marvel, they're already starting some stuff and they're not necessarily connecting it. Um, so Valkyrie, whatever, yeah, Valkyrie number 10, it ended abruptly. It ended up really weird unless you go back to these other issues and you see what they were trying to build towards, and they're trying to bring back the Asgard and history and connect it back into this whole thing with Null and Venom and all that other stuff.
There it is. This ain't the drunk. This is the mini ball. Maybe doing the chat tomorrow. Luca's gonna be here. A lot of people are gonna be here tomorrow. But this is like a pregame, and Lucas just broke it down. Now Lucas, I want to read something that Gary had wrote because he heard the show last week,
Mm-hmm.
and this is something that he had said. So I wrote a little bit about the Wrath
Man.
and Null connection established today in the Guardians of the Galaxy. This is back in March 20th. So, but in Wraith number 2 may end up being a key as well, based on one line. Wrath, he is given a name and issued by Ronan, the accuser, recounts his origin story in which we're introduced to the Exelon, a group of parasitic aliens who transform the Kree into the Nameless, a group Wraith is part of. And lo and behold, Wraith is seeking out the Exelon god Null, who gave the Dark Curse. So you guys are syncing up well about this being the Null cameo, another Null cameo.
Right.
So we definitely, excuse me, we're definitely gonna keep an eye on that. This week has been insane.
Yes. Right. So where you want to start first? So
Exactly. We only got about a fucking hour and a half.
So I want to start from. Let me start from. Go ahead. Go where you want to go with this, but
no, I gotta be a proper host. I want you guys to introduce yourselves. I want everybody to introduce themselves. Then we're gonna get into the get into.
Go ahead, Mr. Bolo.
All right. Well, I am Jack DeMeo, aka Mr. Bolo from the Simplemans Comics YouTube channel. Love my man Mel. Always down to come on and talk about what's going on and talk a little shit, a little unfiltered late night.
I'm Vinny Perez from aka Retro Comic Nerd from No Name Comics out of Chicago. You know, got much love for Mel V, and was happily introduced to these two gentlemen, Mr. Bolo and Mr. Lucas, last week. So happy to be on with you guys again.
Vinny Perez is like Richard Gere that went to the hood. Just stayed a little bit too long. But Lucas, introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm Lucas. I rate reviews and we do podcasts for comiccrusaders.com. Mostly No Prize Podcast, which is where we review some of the bold stuff that Marvel likes to put out. So if you want to hear some guys really talk some crap about Marvel stuff, that's the place to go. And then I love getting on with Mel whenever we do these late night drunken chat, freaking inebriated freaking chats. And then what I'm trying to build back up to is talking more about the previews and all the stuff that's coming out in a month or two. And I'm always down to talk about anything. And so oh yeah, one more thing. I just did want to give a shout out to Bird City Comics. He was on with us last week. Take a quick look over at their page. They've got some really good stuff. They pointed me towards some stuff that I really needed. So yeah, go ahead and check those guys out.
And I just recently did the hot 10 list for CBSI about an hour ago. And listen, I can be anywhere. I'm here with Bolo. I'm here with Toma here. I'm here with CBS. Come on. Can't put no chains on me, man. I'm everywhere, baby. I love the comic community, man. I ain't just... We're all in the same gang. Remember that song?
Exactly. That's what I want us to do. I want us to all start supporting each other, from the littlest guy to the big guys on top. Let's start supporting each other instead of fighting each other. I mean, even if just go to their YouTube page, freaking click follow, and then once the stuff comes up in your email, hey, even if you don't want to watch it, freaking just go to that freaking thing. Hit them with a like, hit them with the bell, because you know what? If we keep paying attention to each other and showing each other love, the rest of the entertainment industry is going to pay attention to us as well. So we got to support each other in that way.
Bo got that on lock. Nah. We can't say that, Doom. Tom is my man. Key Click, that's my man. We all in the same gang, bro. We got love for everybody over here. This is the mini ball. Tomorrow, drunken chat. Tonight's the mini ball. We got love, man. Love on both shows is a number of love, man. I'm going back to my love shit, man. We just had June 19th. We had a big parade out here, man. I don't know black people that barbecue though. That kind of shame. kind of disappointed about that, but listen. It was a huge week for comics. Get back to the what y'all here for. It was a huge week in comics. Miles Morales is going fucking out of control.
Right.
Yeah. There are still
well deserved.
Thank you. Yes, definitely well
Yeah.
deserved.
For sure.
Right. So the only thing that I don't know, and I don't know if you guys were paying attention within the last 6 or 7 months, they were actually trying to push Miles Morales towards something else. They were trying to give him a new suit. They were trying to give him a new identity, but they just never followed through for some reason. They even were getting ready to get rid of the spider webbing because he ran out and his boy Genki couldn't make any more. So they were trying to push him to something else, but they never followed through. So we'll see where he's going with that, whether he's going to get a new identity. But there's already weird stuff going on. The evil Miles Morales showed up and all this other stuff. So
Tiger Woods, baby.
yeah.
If Tiger Woods ever needs a job, he will be the MCU as the evil Miles Morales. I'm telling you,
Yep.
just like him. You know what I'm saying?
It's all good until Spider Gwen breaks in his car with his fucking golf friggin' thing.
It's crazy. But like I said on the top 10 show, I didn't realize like how important that Kiss book is.
Yeah.
And crybabies for the pumped up guys start crying now, and I read about it later. But it's that book right there, those characters right there, in the comic community can help bring us together. It's an interracial couple. It's a couple for the new generation. It's Miles who's hot. It's Gwen who's hot. Perfect storm at the perfect time. Who knew that book came out 3 years ago? Who knew at this time that it would be so significant? Bolo, what you was about to say?
No, I mean that book was popular from the get-go. I think people immediately gravitated to that storyline, and I'm a big fan. Guy I've considered a friend, really helped us out early on, especially when I was writing for CBSI. Jason Latour, that was like a big part of that storyline. Was like from the get-go, that was a big storyline that they wanted to tell. Is that whole love story between Miles and Gwen? That was, that's his. The same way Peter Parker had that love with Gwen and with Mary Jane. This is Miles' version of that, and I always knew as Miles got big that this book would get big. I just never thought it would happen so overnight this week. But I'm not really bothered by anything that's happening with Miles. I think it's all well deserved. I don't think any of these books don't have value. I've really had not a problem with a single thing that's gone on surrounding Miles. It's one of the most solid spec movements I've seen. It's like it's been huge over the last week, and it's been overwhelming. But it's like I said, overdue, well deserved, because that's a solid character. So I'm glad that a lot of people who put a lot of money into that character over a lot of years are getting to see some rewards. I would also caution people not to just jump out of it real quick. Don't just cash out, because I think this is only the beginning. I mean, Miles is only going to get bigger.
Right. So there's the video game on PS5 that's coming out pretty soon. All the little kids that I've talked to, they're already all over it. They're already trying to do yard work and everything, trying to get their mom and dad to freaking save up for that motherfucker. Freaking and then that's who they know, right? They know Spider-Man and they know Miles Morales. They kind of understand Peter Parker, but they don't care. They want the Miles Morales. So definitely. So I brought up last week that 20 years from now, freaking this Ultimate Fallout number 4 or whatever we decide right now is going to be the next Hulk 181. And yeah, it may not be the first cameo appearance or first appearance, but guess what? It's the one that everybody's sticking with right now. So 20 years from now, 20 years from now, if you can't get your hands on it, you might want to freaking store that away for your kids.
I do not want to pay $1,000 for a fucking 9/8 Ultimate Fallout 4.
Right.
But in 10 years from now, I'm like, I should have paid $1,000 for a fucking Ultimate Fallout 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because another question you got to ask, because remember, I don't know if you guys remember that there was a time when Hulk 181 it was high, but then it dropped down in price, right? So right now, while we're paying attention to it, everything rose, but then eventually, maybe 7 years, 8 years from now, this comic book thing is going to freaking decay, and then the prices are going to drop, and then those are going to freaking start coming back on the freaking market. So that's what you want to pay attention for, right? Keep it always freaking in the back of your mind that you're trying to get as many of those as possible, and then watch for those price drops. And then if the price drops, don't say, "Oh, well, I don't want it now." Nope, freaking grab it. absolutely freaking just freaking grab it, because once again, I'm telling you, 20 years from now, when your kids have that disposable income, they're going to think back, man, Miles Morales, he was the shit when I was freaking a kid. So let me go ahead and freaking get that just because I want it.
Same with Edge of Spider-Verse too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I think as far as like just bringing up Edge of Spider-Verse, since Miles and Gwen Stacy's first appearance is kind of getting out of reach for most people, start looking at those other characters that might be introduced. Spider-Punk, all those other guys. I picked up a Spider-Punk today for $10.
Right.
I'm not. Who knows? It might not go past that, but why leave it there for $10 when there's a potential for $50, $60, $70, $80 later down the road? I mean,
well, and I also think there's other books with Spider-Gwen, and like you're saying, where I agree with you. I think it's going to get out of range for a lot of the average collector. That's why I've talked about this week is Spider-Gwen #1 from the 2015 series. When they did Edge of Spider-Verse #2, that was supposed to be a one-shot. They didn't go real deep into her origin or a lot of story.
Right.
It was supposed to be kind of like a comedy what if. And then when they decided, okay, no, people are buying this, we need to double down, and they brought Robbie Rodriguez, Rico Renzi, and Jason Latour back to the table. That #1 issue, which is only like a $7, $8, $10 issue right now, I think is massively undervalued because it really is where they began telling the story and crafting who Gwen is and what this version of her entails. So I think that's a massively undervalued book.
Right.
I remember when everybody used to ask me like, yo, when was the time you see the Midtown line the craziest? And it was that Spider-Gwen book. That Spider-Gwen one. That line was. I haven't seen a line like that. Punchline beat that line. That punchline Batman '89. That beat that Spider-Gwen line. That punchline shit was by far the most craziest line I've ever seen in Midtown.
And like kind of going back to Gwen Stacy or whatever, I do live shows on Facebook as well. And for the longest time, I was trying to get rid of this Spider-Man Amazing #1, and this is Gwen's second appearance.
Yep.
So, and I have two of them, and I was just like, all right, $7, $8, $10, and nobody bought on it. So like, it's been sitting in my box, and this week everything's been blowing up. I'm like, yeah, this is going to stay sitting in my box. I'm not going to put this back out there because I think 10, 20 years from now, like Lucas was saying, yeah, it's going to get ridiculous where those 9/8 that are out of reach now, they're going to be more out of reach later on.
I remember that book being touted as Spider-Gwen's origin. But it never was Spider-Gwen's origin.
Right.
Doom 143 definitely brought up a good point. Who was Miles' #1 villain? Like, good question. Who do they put in the video game?
So that's why everybody's kind of speculating on the evil Miles.
Yes.
Tiger Woods.
I personally, I don't like that. I think that would be difficult in a movie to introduce Miles to people and then say, here's an evil version of him that he's going against. I think you need a different villain. But I also think that people are looking too much at like what the publishing side has done. They could honestly partner him up with any traditional Spider-Man villain. Any traditional Spider-Man villain could be the villain in the Miles book. Plus, you got to tell the story with Prowler. The Prowler story and everything with Aaron Davis has to be told. And then you've got, people forget, you've got Childish Gambino, which is another reason why I think that all new Ultimate Spider-Man #1 is an undervalued book, because that's Aaron Davis's first appearance. Childish Gambino is a monster celebrity, and him being attached to that role after being previously playing Miles and kind of aging out of the character, I think he gives a lot of potential to what they can do with that franchise. And then, in the comic, he worked for Kingpin, so they could always bring Kingpin in as the villain.
Childish Gambino, also known as Danny Glover. Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, right.
Donald Glover. Donald Glover.
Right.
Black people all look alike.
So, Mr. Bull, I'm glad you brought up that whole Kingpin thing, because even through the villains, it looks like they're trying to pass it off to the next generation. So Kingpin has a granddaughter, that they're trying to bring out. Princess, I believe her name was.
Yeah, not impossible.
Moon Girl
Right.
13.
Moon
Yep.
Girl.
I mean, no, not 13. Is 32.
32. Yeah, 32.
Right. The Vulture, he has a granddaughter. I forget what she's not necessarily bad, but they're trying to bring her along. They try to bring Miles Morales into Riri's world. They try to bring him into Shuri's world. So there's all types of avenues that he's going to be brought into. I think what was it? This last week or a couple weeks ago, they brought that whole thing of the young people and shouldn't be superheroes. There's this faction of Shield that's out there just trying to freaking kill his ass.
Outlawed. Yeah,
outlawed. Yeah,
that's what it was called. That's a sleeper 1 to 25 that you get. 1 to 50 that you get for dirt cheap right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other stuff that he's been doing, but they better not follow through with this Evil Morales, because that's the laziest stuff that I hate about Marvel.
Yep.
Is that number one, they'll freaking have superheroes fighting superheroes, and they'll have superheroes fighting themselves or a version of themselves. That's the laziest shit that I've seen, and I freaking hate it. There's 365 million people in the United States. You telling me that they can't find some other bad guy? I mean, especially for a little kid. I mean, what is he, 15, 16 years old? You telling me they can't find some other freaking little teenager for him to freaking fight or freaking beat? Just keep him at street level, right? So Peter Parker, he's already freaking taken off, freaking he's Avenger level, whatever. But Miles Morales, he's supposed to be still at street level. Keep him street level, find us some street level villains to mess around with, and then we'll be good.
Yeah, it's fucking under. Yo, Silman, get your fucking country ass on, motherfucker. Goofy motherfucker. and that is under. The answer would be under. I'm glad to see people. I'm glad to see people. This is spur of the moment. That's the thing. The thing about Drunken Chat, or the mini ball as it's called for right now, nobody knows when I'm gonna go on. I don't know when I'm gonna go on. I gotta go to work tomorrow, but we're here talking. I just wanna talk comics, and I got some of my closest friends with me right now, and we just talking shit. Right. And
can I bring up my bone to pick now?
Go ahead.
Yes. Can listen, while we're talking about the top 10. Now, I had the issue a couple weeks ago when y'all didn't give Frankie's the love, right? Right, y'all didn't give Frankie's the love, and that's fine, because y'all. I gotta tell y'all, I really have to say. Shout out to CBSI, shout out to Comic Tom, because you really inspired us to build exclusivevariants.com, a brand new website dedicated to the information for the market about when exclusive variants go on sale, who's selling them, et cetera, et cetera. But y'all today talked about this Calvin Ellis book, and y'all dogged it with only half the information.
I didn't dog it.
But you're complicit. You're complicit. You stood right there and let it be dog.
Bro, because
why is that book spiking? No, hold on. Time out. Why is that book spiking right now? Why is that book spiking right now?
You guys brought it up.
Right. Exactly.
So why did no one mention that? No one mentioned that.
That's
true. Yeah. No, somebody mentioned it last week. Somebody did.
No, Mr. Bolo did.
That's the only reason why I knew about it.
On the show.
Yeah, we talked about it on Drunken Chat.
30 minutes ago. And then 30 minutes ago on the Hot 10 show, you guys attributed that entire book being popular to fake article from a while ago. When by the way, MTV.com, you just have to Google it. Type in Michael B. Jordan, Superman. MTV ran an article about it. Collider ran an article about it. Variety ran an article about it. And ESPN owned The Undefeated ran an article about it. We're not talking about fake movie sites. But we talked about it on our top 10 having nothing to do with that. We just said, look at the climate. Look at what's going on. If Michael B. Jordan was brought into a meeting with Bad Robot and he was pitched this character and he wasn't interested in it back then, he may feel differently as he has been directly leading Black Lives Matter protests in Los Angeles. So if that's something that is, at the time we talked about it, we talked about the fact that it was dirt cheap, that it had gone down from that movie spike. It was a $4 book and the variant was selling for $40. People heard what we said, bought into what we said, bought it. The book spiked. But then y'all attributed everything to some fake news article from 2019.
Hold on. I didn't bring up the fact that I had that shit on the easel before you brought it up. I didn't bring that up.
But then that's fine. Then take credit for it on the easel. But you know that it's spiking right now. I never claim that like we don't try to be the channel who's first. All we do is give our opinion.
No,
so this week, Brian and I,
right. You are absolutely right. You absolutely correct.
Right, because like
Brian and I simply said that's our opinion, and people ran with it.
You're absolutely right.
Go ahead,
right.
man.
Go ahead, Vinny. I'm sorry.
No, like Jack's right, 100%. Because like when me and him got to talking like last week, I was like, I love this top 10 show because it's different. It's putting stuff out there that people never heard of. Jack, it's funny when you put that book up this week. I'm like, I've been picking that book up for over a year just because I came across the Barack Obama Amazing Spider-Man cover and it was already signed by Todd Nuck, right? And I'm like, all right, and I have this thing about collecting heroes or villains running for president. So when I saw that, it just kind of goes into that collection. So anytime I've seen that cover, especially Action Comics number 9, I pick it up. Final Crisis, I pick them all up, especially those J.G. Jones covers, right? Because they're just nice covers. So I have them anyways. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And I didn't think it was going to heat up the way it did. But
Neither did I. Neither did I.
I did not. I went to Graham Crackers, and any day before today, I would have found that cover. It is so funny. Like I found a couple more, but just the fact that in the main back issue area, gone, ghost. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then I even messaged you, Jack. I was like,
yeah,
it's like this.
I wasn't gonna say that. I wasn't gonna loud you. I wasn't gonna loud you out about that. Yeah, you would talk about that.
Yeah, you know what, Bolo, you are absolutely right. You credit what credit is due. You brought it back up to the people's attention. Now let's go further with this. Do you think there will be a black Superman?
I think that based on the fact that Todd Phillips' Joker worked outside of the DC universe, that anything is possible about these like characters who don't fit into a tree.
They're not ready, man. They're not ready.
I disagree with the whole "they not ready" thing. I disagree.
They're not ready.
I disagree. It's the time. I'm all in on the diversity.
Right. So for whoever says that there can't be a black Superman, they haven't been watching that sci-fi. Is it Krypton?
Yeah, it was a Black Zod. Black Zod.
Black Zod chick.
Black Zod. The whole family.
The whole family
is black, right? And then there's all types of mixing.
I watched that show. Right, I watched that show and was trying to figure out how the hell like they would end up having white kids in the end because the whole family was
right. So there's mixing back and forth in between them and whatever and the L's, right?
But listen, a blonde hair, black hair, blue eyed, can't be fucked with. That's the shit. That's Superman.
If you try to compete on the same level, but remember, Bad Robot, that's J.J. Abrams. His deal with DC is to like work on programming for HBO Max, a Superman show based on Calvin Ellis, again, who's president of the United States and simultaneously Superman, is a unique show that is very different than anything else that's going on, and one that could be popular. At the same point, it may never happen. But the point that we were bringing it up for was, look how fucking cheap this book is. You're not, if you buy it for $4, it's why not at this point? And it's Grant Morrison. This is a character created by Grant Morrison. This is a legend. This is not like some frivolous fly-by-night thing. So you never know. And plus, look at the climate. What if DC brings Calvin Ellis back? What if he's brought back into the DC universe? What if there's a series or a one-shot? Either way, at the price we were talking about. But the question becomes, what do Brian and I have to do at this point? What are we going to have to do to get acknowledged? Or are y'all just going to try to like stamp on everything that we do? Right. Is that like policy now?
No.
Is that policy like shit on them?
You're right. You're absolutely right. Your name should definitely be brought up. Absent-minded. I was absent-minded on that. You're right. That was my bad.
I'm teasing you, and I'm
no,
teasing you
because you know, if it was me, I'm gonna be on your ass too. You know that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you right.
I know. So my whole thing is if you're gonna report it and say it's cut, this is spiking because people are following some fake news article. You're either intentionally misleading your own audience, or you're just going out of your way to be petty and shit on people who dedicated
that wasn't the case.
10 years to a cause.
That wasn't the case.
Brand.
That wasn't my case. I
know that wasn't your case.
I
know that wasn't your case, but like I said, I think things run down from the top. I think that's how that works.
Nah. But you're right. Next time, I mean, you're absolutely right. You and Superman definitely holding it down. That was my fucker for not bringing it. I do apologize. You know
but it's not about the show. We saw the article this morning when it went live, and we Brian and I immediately messaged each other like, look at this. But we know Ben Stein probably just didn't pay attention. He didn't know that we did this or we talked about this. But that's the problem is there's nobody being like, yo, just so you know, Simpleman's Comics actually this was a spec pick for them this week, and everybody jumped on it. Like that's I can't help that because our community wants us to try to pick inexpensive books that are geared towards the future. So that's what we're trying to do. We're looking at books with long-term value that are affordable to every collector. And I cannot control what people jump on and what they don't.
And I was really surprised to see it skyrocket as fast as it did because, like I said, I've seen that book.
What is it at right now? Was a $50 book?
I saw a Final Crisis and Action Comics 9 together, $83.
Yeah. And the variant, the 1 in 200 Action Comics number 9. Yeah. There was a sale the day before we recorded for $40. The last sale was like $2.99. So but that makes sense to me because it's a 1 in 200.
Right.
How many stores ordered 200 Action Comics 9?
Vinny,
I agree with Life of Agony. Superman is boring. That's why I'm bullish on a different Superman. A Superman who can. Look how many Superman movies have been made that haven't been successful. We've switched the characters so many times. To me, a Superman with a different approach is more exciting. I'd rather see Jonathan Kent than I would watch another Clark Kent movie.
No, listen. Superman 1 was a great movie. Why? Great movie. Superman 2, great movie. Why? You had motherfuckers that could fuck up Superman. That's why it would never be a great Superman game. Because how can you in a video game? How can you fuck up Superman? He's fucking Superman. That will never ever be a great Superman game.
That's where they messed it up with the DCU because they introduced Steppenwolf and he came in and beat his ass. Like that's what's going to happen. That's why they messed it up when they didn't introduce Darkseid. But like going back to seeing a black Superman on screen. Maybe not in theaters, but why couldn't we see that in the DC universe streaming online?
HBO Max.
No, because isn't
I think it would be perfect on
DC universe.
Yeah, DC universe. I think once HBO Max starts, I'm speculating, but I think all of DC universe app is going to end up under the HBO.
Okay. So under HBO because Watchmen's there, right? Why couldn't we see that there?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think the world is ready. No, put it like this: I didn't think the world was ready before when I first spoke about Kevin Ellis back in the East. Back then, I didn't think they were ready for it, but right now, it's a better time.
And now's the leverage point for people of color. Now is the time for people of color that have been demanding these things to sit here. Now is the time where you're going to get more attention than ever before. I think that you're going to see more inclusion on Hollywood sets. I think you're going to see more inclusion in sports. I think now is the time for all of these conversations that have been very difficult to have. This is the leverage point in society where things can get done.
We don't want to see Black Super. Give us Black Adam.
But for instance,
see,
I agree with what I think where Jack's going to go because Calvin Ellis comes from Earth 23. It's not by coincidence that they call Earth 23 Earth 23 because Earth 23 is an all black Earth. Am I correct?
Yep.
All right. So why do they give it the number 23?
Jordan.
Come on. Right. So like the whole point, like you play off of all that, people are gonna watch it. People are gonna want to see it. Lois Lane was based off Beyonce.
Also, if Calvin Ellis was if Calvin Ellis was pulled out of his world and suddenly thrust into our world, imagine how difficult that would be for him to suddenly have to navigate.
Well, that's fucking Miles Morales. That's Miles Morales.
Exactly.
Right. So that's the point. So that's my whole point. That's my whole point. Is if Miles is this incredibly marketable character, why would Calvin Ellis not? And I know
because
and I know your long stance on like switching characters' races, and I've really appreciated your perspective on it because it's so much more valid than mine. So I appreciate that, but I don't feel like that's what Calvin Ellis is. The DC universe has long been established that it's a linear universe with all these different Earths and all of these different versions of characters, and they're all unique. We're over here marketing the Batman Who Laughs and the Robin King from another universe. And this has been something that has worked with DC. So one that happens to look like Barack Obama, happens to look like Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is amazing in everything. He's a producer now. He's got his hand behind the camera. And he has a voice, and he's one of those people that's in a position very much like a Colin Kaepernick, where I think that he really wants to make sure that his legacy is cemented as somebody who is standing up for change, like Muhammad Ali on my shirt. I think that you're going to see that. You'd be perfect for this. But again, either way, it was a $4 book. How do you turn down a $4 book how much do you think that book would be worth if tomorrow HBO announced they're going through with the show? Calvin Ellis, Superman, Michael B. Jordan.
Not 9,500.
Because as tough as that book is to find right now, and as much as that book is going for right now, if this thing was like official tissue news, you'd be looking at 5-6 times multiples of what we're looking at now. We'd be talking about a book at that not quite Miles Morales level, but because it's way more limited, it would be difficult. Especially, the fact. Go ahead.
I mean, Miles Morales didn't even go up that much when his movie came out.
Yeah, you're right.
Spider-Verse went up higher.
The video game ticked that book up to out of control levels. Yeah. It was a fucking video game.
Yeah, because one, it's on a.
Well, it was the video game combined with the.
Is it all the right time?
I think it's video game combined with the country combined with the fact that there are strong rumors that a live action Miles is imminent. I think all of that plays in.
I don't.
100% it is.
No. Don't fuck it up. I think. Call me crazy. It might fuck it up with a live action Miles. Keep him where he at. Let the beat build, man. Let the beat build. He got a good thing going on.
It's 20 years. The beat's been building 20 years. And
but look where we don't need a live action Miles.
This is about that. Why? Because if you're sitting there and you're Sony and you're
because it's working right now.
Well, okay,
but you're not fucking with anything that's existing. You're just doing more. It's working. That's why you do it.
Nah, you add shit to potato salad, man. Don't add that to the potato salad.
No, that's not. That's just making more potato salad. That's all it is.
Nah, Lucas, tell him, man. You don't add that. Lucas, tell him that. Don't add that to potato salad, man. The potato salad.
Yeah, I can see what type of houses y'all live in. Y'all live in that type of house that put a little bit of salt and some raisins inside your potato salad.
No,
I think it's cool. That's not the thing, though. You're not adding anything to it.
Let's roll it back to what I was talking about earlier. This isn't for us, right? This is for the kids. This is for those kids between 8 and 13, right? This is for them to build on their minds for later on, right? They don't watch movies like we do, right? They play video games, right? That's why the Spider-Verse movie, whatever Edge of the Spider-Verse movie was so perfect for them, because it's a cartoon, and then they get to go home freaking watch that freaking 1,000 times, and then they just hop on a video game and play it for much as they want, and it's their age, and they're not going to have to worry about. You don't. Here's why you don't. Here's exactly why you don't want to worry about a live action, because you get about good 5 or 6 years out of the actor, and then you got to worry about freaking throwing it away and find another one. Just like the Wolverine guy, right? They got a good 6 or 7 years out of the freaking guy. Now he's too old, right? Yeah,
it's the same as Spider-Man. And let's be honest. Come on now, guys. Black don't crack. He'll last longer. He'll last longer than white dudes do.
But you gotta find the right one. Right?
We don't need.
Donald Glover would have been perfect back in the day.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But you could do. I agree with Jack, but you could do it if you do it correctly, because they were talking about introducing Tobey Maguire, Garfield, and oh boy from MCU into Spider-Verse movie now. Now, like if they convert it into it and then cartoon them through a Spider-Verse movie, but they also pull them from the Spider-Verse movie into the MCU, and then you make them live action, all that shit could work. And especially Shamik Moore, he's young enough. He can play live action.
But also,
Miles Morales.
I feel like you guys are unrealistic. Like that may be your opinion that you guys think that like they should slow down and everything, but Marvel's sitting there watching this going, well, the hottest character we have right now is Miles Morales.
Right.
And by the way, they haven't hold on. They haven't fucked anything up in the MCU yet. There's literally nothing. Right. And you talk about kids and they don't. I have 2 young kids who have seen all the MCU movies that have come out since they've been alive, and their daughters. And my daughters have had this connection to Captain Marvel, to Wonder Woman, that is very unique because of the way they can watch that, and it feels different to them, whether they can explain it or not, than when they watch, say, Iron Man. And I absolutely think that the same thing that those 8 to 13-year-old kids are going to get from video games and they're getting from the Into the Spider-Verse to animated film, they can absolutely pull from the biggest draw to the box office, the biggest moneymaker possible. You should not limit these young kids to think, no, this character only fits in this box or this box. I think Miles is an A-level main event player on every level, and he should be a main event player in the MCU because I think he's that popular.
He's main event now. Don't fuck it up. You're gonna oversaturate the
he's
shit
not
like a
main
motherfucker.
This is where you're speaking from a comic collector perspective. From a comic collector's perspective, he's main event. Marvel's not cashing out on him. There's not Miles Morales book bags in everything except when Into the Spider-Verse was out. The being in the movie is another level. The merchandising, the publicity, the level of exposure it brings to a character. That's main event. And there's no way you can tell me that Miles Morales is less marketable in a theater than Tony Stark. Miles Morales, to me, is 10 times more marketable right now than Tony Stark ever was.
He's in the theater now.
Tony
Keep
Stark.
him where he is now.
So let me hold on. Wait. Let's stop the bullshit. The reason why Tony Stark was so famous is because old moms, those Karens, loved to look at him. They thought he was fucking sexy. And I know so because anytime I was standing around in a freaking comic book shop and I would have their moms with the kids and they start talking about Endgame this or Captain Marvel this or whatever freaking Marvel, they say, oh, well, no, absolutely. Tony Stark wasn't in it. Or because, and now they're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to show up with my kids anymore because Robert Downey Jr. is not in there. So that was the draw for them.
I get that.
Hold on.
The MCU is undefeated.
Which was surprising to me because I thought Thor was supposed to be the eye candy.
But do you think traditional moviegoers are going to go flock to see female Thor? Do you think that they're going to see Riri? Do you think they're going to? I don't know. I'm worried about it. I am worried about it.
Honestly, like the female Thor thing, like that gets so.
But that's a change. That's a change.
Let me finish. The movie's not called Female Thor. The movie's called Thor: Love and Thunder. Okay. It's just the next Thor. It's just the next Thor movie.
Right.
The same people who have been going to see Thor movies. By the way, Thor: The Dark World was terrible. So the same people who are going to see Thor movies are gonna go see this Thor movie. This is just the thing that we do in comics.
No,
because
women
and people of color are as marketable as anything else right now.
The same response as when people found out that God thought it was going to be Jane Foster. From our level, we're upset. It's going to be
But that always get upset about everything. Think about that.
Yep.
Every announcement, people freak out, and then you know what they do? They shut their mouth and pay their money and go see the movie. And that's exactly what will happen.
I want it to be good. I want it to be good, but
who caught more shit than Captain Marvel? And that movie was still a smash success.
Was it?
Huge. Yeah, huge at the box office, massively profitable, and the amount of merchandise that movie sold. Did you walk through a Walmart when that movie was out? Did you see a Target? Do you see like the massive amounts of kids' clothing? My daughters have Captain Marvel everything from clothes to sheets type thing.
See, you keep. So here's the deal, Mr. Bolo. You keep referencing your kids. Your kids are exception. They got a freaking great dad who's willing to buy them all the stuff. But I want to roll back to where everything is going entertainment wise, right? We had our little spotlight as far as comics and everything, but the eventual wave, and the wave is already here, is towards anime. Don't get it fucked up, right? Anime is where it's going. The anime is where it's going, right? You can even see it because that's where DC is going. That's where Marvel is going with all these little freaking books, and they're freaking testing the waters. They're going to get it fucked up because they're trying to charge $4 for a 20-page book, when anime and manga, you can buy a book for 15 pages, $15, and you get 150 pages, right? So that's whatever. But what I'm scared of is that with these next generation of heroes that they're trying to bring up, from the Riri to the Miles Morales and everything, if they don't do it correctly, if they spend too much and invest too much right now, and they put out a crappy product, right? It's going to spoil everything, right? Just like Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn was the trademark character for DC for a good 3 to 4 years because they had really good art. They had really good character. Even the Suicide Squad, which a lot of people say sucked. Teenage girls freaking love that shit. They loved them. They fucking loved the fucking Joker. They were all over that shit. And then they came out with Birds of Prey and they fucked it up. How do you fuck up one of your trademark characters that way? Because they had her one way and then they tried to change her into one female power and everything, which is fine, but they didn't do it the right way. Because you can't have the character one way and all of a sudden the next one have it another way. You can't freaking do it.
That's DCU. Unfortunately, as much as I'm a DC fan, Warner Brothers do not know. They don't get on the same page. MCU, I trust MCU because I even came to a point like, I'm kind of seeing the same thing over and over. And then we got to Endgame. It's like, oh my God, this is fucking great.
Right. So for me, for Captain Marvel, when we were talking about Captain Marvel and how people rushed Captain Marvel because they thought it was going to be the next iteration within that whole Endgame thing, and then it turned out not to be as big as they thought. And then now all the talk around Hollywood is how are they going to kill Captain Marvel? That's what I thought we were going to talk about. They're already trying to kill Captain Marvel off. They're trying to find a way to do it.
And I think part of that is because they don't like the actress. I mean,
Brie Larson
Brie Larson
made some decisions.
And she's horrible.
Made some decisions that alienated things. But I still sit there and go, I'll believe they'll kill Captain Marvel when I see it. Either way,
they've already set it up. I mean, Monica Rambeau, that's next one up. Go ahead, bring her on in.
Right, but either
Monica
way,
Rambeau
even if they bring up Monica Rambeau, then that's still, again, that's a different actress, is a different person, but that's still the validity of the character. But I sit and I look at the MCU and I go, if the worst thing you ever point to is a movie like Captain Marvel that was like $1 billion movie, that's the worst thing they've ever done. If that's the worst character they've taken to light, and by the way, Captain Marvel is no Miles Morales. But if that's what it is, I sit and I go, in Feige we trust. I totally get what you're saying about the DC stuff, because that's a great example, because Harley Quinn, they literally fuck money up with Harley Quinn. But I don't sit there. We say on our channel, in Feige we trust. Like, we just have a blind faith that Feige is undefeated. He hasn't been beaten yet. Yes, eventually maybe he'll create a character and, like we said, Mel, fuck it up. And I would hope that it wouldn't be Miles Morales. But I don't think that's the case. I think they know how important this character is. And I think they see the money associated with it. Whatever happens in the back issue comic market, it's a very good indicator of a popularity of a character, and they do pay attention to that stuff. And I think the stuff with Miles has been in the works for years. I don't think anything that's happened recently even matters, because the reality situation is I think they always wanted to bring Miles into the MCU. I think they always wanted to get Miles as involved in stuff. The video game was probably an inevitability. Video games certainly are worked on well in advance. So I think that it's going to go down. It's just, we might as well just get on board and support it all the way, because I don't think it's going anywhere.
If all right, put it like this. Let me put my stance on this. If it does happen, live action Miles Morales, I pray that it works. I want it to work. But what we got going on right now, he's great. Now we just spoke about ground level Miles Morales. I want to get into the topic which was really now. Like I said on the top 10, all you pump it up crybaby bitches, don't even worry about what I'm about to say. This Spider-Man 20 cover, mind you, it's just a cover. The guts have nothing to do with the book. I want to get you guys' thoughts on it, and we're gonna talk about this more tomorrow. But this is the mini bar. We're gonna talk about this more on the big show. I want to get you guys' thoughts on just the cover alone.
I'm mad about that book because the day before my man Peter Renner, I don't know if Peter Renner is still in the chat, but the day before my man Peter Renner put that book in his dollar bin digging article, I was scouring, like everybody's doing. I was scouring online resources looking for anything Miles that could be like worthy of jumping on now. And I looked at that book and I thought, fuck, that cover is so powerful. That cover is, yes, it just immediately speaks to you. Yeah. But I was too chicken shit. They had 20 copies.
Where? Oh, you bring it up.
Get a collection plate together so we can get Mr. Bolo some better internet.
Bolo make all this money and shit. He get no fucking internet. Bolo, you with us? Oh, you here, brother? Bolo. We're gonna remove Bolo and come back. Bolo, you there? We're gonna move it right. All right, so Vinny, go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's a powerful cover. As soon as you posted it, it was go straight to the LSC and see if it was there. It was, you know what I'm saying? And I got it for cover, and that was that. And I think you guys hit on it perfect. It's a significant cover. You know, people are talking about like crying about it because of, oh, it's only the time for now. But how many iconic covers are out there that nobody buys the book for because of what the story's got going on inside of the book? How many Wolverine covers are out there that have skyrocketed just because of the cover art? I
really wouldn't call it iconic, but significant. Fuck yeah, man.
But like maybe it's not iconic right now, but I think it will be iconic later on. Like 10, 15 years from now, when people are come across it, they're like, oh damn, I remember this cover, and I remember the time, and I'm gonna put it in my PC. Like that book's always gonna get picked up now. And anytime you find that book in a dollar bin or wherever, and if you find it for a cheap price, you're gonna buy it just because of the cover. Just go ahead.
No, Bolo, what you were saying before you got cut off? Bolo?
Yeah, I was just saying that yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I was just saying I'm not surprised that people took to it, it was, like I said, it immediately stood out to me as a cover that was going to be culturally significant. And there is a history in comics of covers that maybe the guts have nothing that about the book that make people feel that book is desirable, but that cover speaks to people for whatever the reason. So I think that's one that has a good chance of standing the test of time and being kind of a marker of a time in the country.
When Andy Tomlin, shout out to my man Andy, when he showed me that cover, man, I was like, oh fuck, man. Like I posted it immediately to my Instagram, and it wasn't for no fucking selling purposes. I think people needed to fucking see this shit. My friends who don't read comics needed to see this shit. My friends who don't read comics who know who Miles is needed to see. My friends who have kids who know who Miles is needed to see that shit. So I don't give a fuck if it's $100 book, a $50 book, or $1 book. That it needs to be like on a shirt. It needs to be places because there are a lot of brothers dressing up as Miles Morales right now and going to these protests. That shit is powerful, man. That shit means a lot to me, man. That color means a lot to me.
It's funny. I did a mother-son dance a couple of years back at my daughter's school. And I dressed up as Spider-Man, right? And it wasn't my costume or whatever like that, but I thought it was kind of cool. It was the first time I kind of cosplay. I bought the Miles Morales' costume for myself just here recently, just to kind of like play with my kids or whatever. Because I do see, even though I grew up Peter Parker, he's Afro-Latino. That's my biggest gripe in the comic community is every time a Latino is a superhero, he's mixed with something else. Like that Mexican, Irishman, Spider-Man, Kyle Rayner, Bane for guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, I still gravitate towards Miles first than Peter Parker, just because his mom was Puerto Rican.
Wow, I never really thought about that. That's what's up. I mean, yeah, Bolo.
Yeah, people forget the Morales part of Miles oftentimes, and that's what another thing that I think Miles can speak to more than one culture, and that's why to me it's like it's a people of color thing.
Very good point. Very good point.
That's what I loved about the movie because like you got a black father and you could tell he had a Latina mother, in a Latino mother household. No matter what, she ruled that house. Like even though we didn't get
and his father, but there's that element.
Right. I just like. I wish we could get more of that, but
that's a fucking very fucking good point.
The very little part we saw, there's the fact that like the way she tells, her father, hey, he's afraid, let him stay here. You know what I mean? Like. She still had her hand out, she was kissing him at the door, like, oh, you can't leave. That's every Latino mother. It was just like, that's what I gravitated towards.
And I'm so fucking glad you brought that up because I personally never thought about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My wife is Latina. Lucas, your wife is Latina as well, right?
Yes, it is.
So the kids that we're gonna have, you know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be it's Miles, right? Yeah. And it's so many. I know so many of my friends who are brothers who marry black or have babies with Latin women or marry Latin women and have babies with them. This is another reason why that goes to the next level. I didn't even fucking think about that. You're fucking right, man. Yo,
I like just the fact that they even hit on a little bit of the whole Afro-Latino in the movie was perfect. Mm-hmm. Because like that was like one of my biggest gripes when they introduced him into the cartoon. He sounded too much like a Peter Parker. He sounded like he was always joking around, whatever. I'm like, I don't need that from my Miles Morales. So when like the Spider-Verse movie, they actually like redid him and they redid him right. And I think that's why people did gravitate towards Miles because what Spider-Verse did for it. I think before I didn't feel that way. When I was reading Miles or even saw him in the cartoon, I'm like, oh, it's just another Peter Parker in the mask.
Well, and also there's like a keep it real factor of like when you go back and listen to Stan Lee talk about the creation of Spider-Man and specifically the creation of Peter Parker, he wanted what he idealized a average New York teenager looked like. So at that time in what was it, 1960, whatever, you're looking at like a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, kid or a little Jewish kid, and that's what was a lot of New York neighborhoods were filled with. But over the time, gentrification, the all the terrible things that go on when the housing in big cities, that the culture has been mixed and now it's very diverse. And I don't think Peter Parker is really representative of what like the average New York City kid is. And so Peter Parker at his best as a street level hero is supposed to be this kid who represents New York City teenagers. And I think Miles Morales is a much better example of today's New York City teenager than Peter Parker.
If you go,
that's just generational.
If you go to Woodside, Queens, I'm from Queens. You go to Woodside, Queens, you ain't gonna see no Peter Parkers out there. Not a lot. It's just Miles Morales.
Right.
But that was another thing I did like about they differentiated. Peter Parker's from Queens, Miles is from Brooklyn. Like they made him a different part. They didn't make him from the same neighborhood. And that's one thing I did like.
Brooklyn at this point is more white than Queens right now.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like,
now, if you had Miles Morales from Brownsville, Miles Morales would be the villain.
But
he would have been the next Prowler, huh?
I think even Miles Morales fight from Brownsville, man. Brownsville crazy, bro.
I mean, even Brooklyn. But Brooklyn's changed tremendously even since the creation of Miles Morales. I mean, that's pre-Barclays and there's so much change.
That area over there was Fort Greene. You go over there. You try to come out on Macy's over there on Fulton Mall. You're gonna meet some Decepticons, bro, and you don't want to meet them, dude. Them brothers was real, man. Them brothers was real out there, man.
So that's a perfect. So that's a perfect example of what I want for Miles Morales, right? There's all types of crazy dudes out there rolling around in freaking New York on those mean streets, man, that you just don't want to roll up on. Those are the type of villains that we should be freaking seeing in the Miles Morales Miles Morales go.
Some real people,
right. So in the last one, in the last Miles Morales, that's exactly what happened, right? Some dude, he decided. So young dude decided he was gonna put on what he thought he was gonna put on. He was gonna put on some homemade shit. Well, you could tell how that went out because you can't just roll. Like, hey man, because you see some dude look in the mean streets of Philly, you can't just roll around with some homemade shit.
Nope.
If I don't see some shit that came from Nike or Adidas or from Champion, I'm gonna have to talk to you about what you because you can't roll out the block because we can't have other people from other blocks thinking that Night Street is sweet, right? So that's exactly what happened in the last Morales. But freaking some dude, they saw some dude, freaking they had a little talk with him, but of course dude was a little crying. So Miles Morales sees the guy that was crying and decides to address that situation, and that's the type of stuff that we should be seeing Miles Morales, not him fighting against Null. For God's sake.
Right.
Some 50-year-old around fighting.
Yeah, 5-year-old fucking God and shit. You know what I mean?
That's that. I'm sorry, but that ain't 50-year-old. That ain't problems for a 50-year-old yet.
Yeah, but somebody brought up earlier in the chat. I'm trying to find way more. All right, so Peter Parker has Green Goblin, Batman has Joker. Who does Miles have?
Somebody also brought up that he should be going up against a Red Goblin, but even then, like there's Red Goblin and there's Red Goblin Jr. Red Goblin Jr. is still a Spider-Man villain, right? Even then, he still might even be like a Venom or Eddie Brock.
Hold on. I don't mean to cut you. Superman, you lost the bet because I ain't peed in like about an hour. I'm gonna pee now. I'll be right back.
But yeah, I mean Eddie Brock's son, that's his friend, so that's not enough of a villain for Miles Morales yet. And once again, we shouldn't even be going down that route. We should be Miles Morales on the block, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, freaking helping the old ladies cross the street, getting cats out the freaking trees, and occasionally beating up the bad guys. And what was interesting in the Spider Gwen from, was it this week? I think it was this week or last week. Um, they're addressing that thing as well, where she's out there freaking doing drug busts, which once again, she's a little girl. She shouldn't be doing. She just be doing normal shit, right? Freaking just trying to figure out her powers and just freaking helping, once again, helping out old ladies. But instead, she's out there freaking teaming up with the DIA and doing drug busts and stuff. That's not what I want for my teenagers. I want my teenagers doing teenage stuff and occasionally making mistakes along the way, because that leads to character development.
Well,
Yeah, and I personally haven't liked the Spider-Gwen book since Sean and Maguire took it over. I liked it better when it was Jason Latour. I think they had a better grasp on the character.
Right. It's already hard enough to write for a teenage girl when you're some 40-year-old, 50-year-old freaking guys already. Freaking
Right.
And they're stuck. Right, they're stuck, right? Because in the meantime, you already know that the guys that are going into the comic book shops is 40-year-old freaking middle-aged guys. But in the meantime, you're also trying to capture the imagination and the attention of the teenage girls, which is what the character is like. So you're stuck in between those two worlds, and what are you going to do? It's almost impossible, especially when like nobody is really. It's a very small community that's actually reading comic books, but you're trying to write enough of a character and character development that might make it for a script later, right? So that's what they're really supposed to be calling for and trying to move toward. And how do you do that character development? You got to get them good villains, right? Yeah. So the interesting thing for Spider Gwen is that they're trying to make the kids of the Fantastic Four. They're trying to make them villains for Spider Gwen. That was an interesting development, so we'll see how that pans out.
I want to. I mean, I love what we're doing here, man. I want to thank. I'm not going off. I'm not cutting off right now, but I want to thank Bolo. I want to thank Vinny for coming on. I definitely want to thank Lucas for coming on. Thank you, especially absolutely Bolo, because top of the food chain, motherfucker, to come fuck with us in the ghetto. you are the man. You know what I mean? I definitely want to give a shout out to Peter Renner. I want to give a shout out to Doom 143. I want to give a shout out to my man David SNMC. Definitely big shout out to Life of Agony. Big shout out to Superman for coming on. I wore his shirt in the city yesterday. Superman comic shirt. Tito 73. Definitely big shout out. Mark Defiant, thank you for coming on. Martin Comic Hunter. Yo, shout out. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the people involved. Anybody got anything to say, man? Let's keep it going. Lucas, continue on. I'm sorry, brother.
No, we were just continuing that discussion about what one of the people in the chat was talking about is for Miles Morales, like who are the villains? And what I was saying is that it's hard to write the villains because you got two different types of customers. You got the people who actually go into the comic book shops and actually read, and then you got the guys, and then you got the teenage girls and the teenage boys that you're trying to target and get them to actually pick the book up. And maybe they may not pick the books up, but they're going to want to watch the cartoons. They're going to want to see the movies. They're going to want to buy the costumes. They're going to want to buy all the stuff. You want that type of buzz that was burning so much around that Harley Quinn stuff, because I don't know if you guys realize how much that Harley Quinn actually turned the attention to the DC universe. And I know people are tired of me hearing about me how much DC fucked that up, but it's still amazing to me, because for all the Comic Cons that I went to, the number one character for a few years was Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn this, Harley Quinn that. Freaking, you go to the shelves, you go around shelves at 7:00 in the morning for Harley Quinn stuff, and then you come back at 1:00, all the stuff gone. Right. So, but then last year when I went to the Baltimore Comic Con, after they started messing stuff up, all of a sudden stuff wasn't just coming off the stuff as good.
Yeah, and I think like you're right. DC fucked up Harley Quinn so much that they're going 75 is her last book, and I don't think it's by coincidence. I think it's because Punchline's going to punch her out, get rid of her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I can't wait to see what the whole deal with this Punchline character is. It's kind of funny because
she's no nonsense, and she's gonna be
Yep.
what they wanted. Fucking Harley with. Say that with Deadpool. They made Deadpool slapsticky and shit. He's a fucking badass assassin. Same as Harley Quinn. She's a badass killer bitch.
right.
And,
But right, what I'm alluding to is the fact that her character looks very similar to a lot of characters that I've been seeing in anime. So I think that's where they're going to, and they're trying to bridge that gap. And I don't know how they're going to do it. I want to see what the character is like. What is the origin of the character? And they're going to try and somehow tie it into some of the other DC books they got, like the Ruby, which is going to be out on HBO Max. I want to see if that's what's going to happen at some point.
I think as far as Punchline goes, I mean, did you guys check out her origin?
No, that's I haven't had a chance to.
Yeah.
So if you go ahead and enlighten us.
Bolo, did you check it out?
Yeah, in the Joker 80th anniversary book.
right.
When I first saw it, and I talked to Mel about this, I was afraid that people were going to take it the wrong way, because like her origin starts off in college, and she just looks like a pissed off student that gets back at the man, right? And it's kind of like at the same time, like the whole protest, whatever. But so the college decides to do wear your favorite superhero shirt day to the school, right? Because the whole Joker toxin thing infected Gotham, and they were trying to like enlighten that, make a better thing. Her roommate happened to have a brother that lost 3 friends to the Joker toxin. So Punchline, being who she is, decided to wear a Joker shirt. So the dean got upset, came back, and goes, "Hey, it's probably you had to have known it was going to be a provocative thing to wear a Joker shirt, knowing your roommate lost 3 of his friends." And that's when that's when we start to know who she's like Mel says, she's no nonsense. She's like, "Well, it's all you guys' fault. You guys sit here and tell us from when we're little kids we could be anything we want. Have you ever thought about that we just wanted to be bad? We just didn't care about anybody else." And when she's doing this, she keeps peeking at her closet, and her closet door is is peeked open, and you don't know exactly what's going on. And the dean trying to start talking to her, but he starts laughing out loud for no apparent reason. So she's like, "Oh, I didn't think my recipe would work, but I had a good teacher." And he's like, he's realizing he's being infected with the Joker toxin. And then while she's talking to him and he's losing his mind, she's changing into the Punchline. And she's like, the world is a fucking joke, and I'm the Punchline. And that's when we find out that Joker is in the closet watching them, just to see if she would go through with it. And we know in '92 she's not, because Catwoman Harley's like, "Oh," "you're his new girlfriend." She's like, "Nah, I'm his partner. Like, I'm not here. I'm not you, bitch. I'm here to fuck you up." I mean, that's what she pretty much said, right? I mean,
Yeah.
She's like, "You're not funny. You're not this. You're not that. You're not me." And she's like, "No, you're right. I'm not you. I'm not here." And I think she's here to stay. And I don't, like I said, Harley Quinn number 75 being the last one is not because they're just canceling titles. I think they're canceling because they're going to kill her off. That's just my spec.
You can't kill. I mean, yeah. She's gonna die, and Batman's gonna throw the bitch in the Lazarus pit, and she's gonna come back good. That's but
I mean, everyone's gonna come back. Everybody comes back.
I've always said that.
Yeah, characters represent money. So even if the money is down on Harley, I don't think they would dump her altogether. They may fade her back. And I think part of the problem is that Paul Miotti, Amanda Connor combination that they've been doing for years and years and years with that character has set a tone that maybe doesn't match what we're saying like that character should be. And I think the comparison to Deadpool is perfect because Deadpool movie works because Ryan Reynolds is fucking awesome. But the Deadpool in the comics, I'm so over. Like I just have no interest in reading Deadpool comics. It just doesn't do anything for me, and it hasn't for a while.
I got a
It's
question.
funny you say that because, like, you know that Hulk number 4 or whatever, where the variant cover where he's got like and he's putting the Deadpool costume on, and like Deadpool is sitting there like naked with this mask. I came across that fucking book, and same thing, Jack. I was like, I'm so sick of fucking Deadpool, and I left it behind. It was like a $3 fucking book. It's a $225 book. I'm so pissed because I got so sick and tired of fucking Deadpool this, Deadpool that. It was just like shit like that. I've missed out on.
Let me ask the panel a question. We're gonna wrap it up probably like another hour, another 45 minutes.
I only got like 5 minutes. But this is my last question.
All right, so last question.
I gotta roll.
What character in Marvel do you see appearing on the next newly introduced character to make it onto the big screen?
Ooh, good question.
Not, I mean, not Miss Marvel. We already did the Miss Marvel shit. You know what I'm saying? In that within the past 2 years, new character to make it on the big screen.
Go.
Right. So it's tough, right? Because everybody knows the next phase that's going on. Everybody knows that at some point they're going to have to bring the X-Men back. We've already talked about them trying to kill off Captain Marvel. They're actively trying to do that. No, Kamala Khan. No, that's my vote. That's the only one that I really want to see. I want to see either Kamala Khan or from Sony. They've got to work some of those other characters in there. And once again, they've already announced that between the Cat Lady or whatever the heck her name is, and Craven and all those other characters. So Sony might have. They should be working on those characters, but once again, once they made those announcements, they haven't pushed those productions in a while. So it should be interesting what's going on with the rest of the Marvel characters.
Bolo.
If they bring back Hugh Jackman, then I really like X-23 because I think that. And not just X-23, specifically all new Wolverine #1, because Hugh Jackman can only play Wolverine for so long. So if they bring back Hugh Jackman, I think there will be a transition point at some point.
What about Honey Badger?
Well, yeah, and then I think that brings up Honey Badger as well. But I think that my favorite character that I think has to show up, and it'll be this Volume 2 Amazing Fantasy 15, as well as I like Totally Awesome Hulk #1, is Amadeus Cho. I think Amadeus Cho is a lock to show up as Amadeus Cho once we get to that area of the MCU where we're starting to look at more of the Asian property stuff. And Amadeus is an important member of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's somebody who can do a lot of what Robert Downey Jr. was doing as far as the tech side for the Avengers, and then eventually can be another iteration of Hulk. And then the only other one that I think that if you're trying to like really make me stick to inside the last 2 years, I would say Immortal Hulk. I think 682, the second print, or 684. I think the Marvel's already said that they've laid the groundwork for Hulk to be immortal in the MCU. And I think if they even reference that, if it's even brought up that Hulk is immortal, you'll see prices on those books.
A Hulk horror movie is going to be what they want to do with New Mutants. And who knows what happens? But yeah, definitely. Vinny, what's your pick?
I'm gonna go with what Lucas was saying last week: Black people in space, Moon Girl, Riri. I mean, you're already going cosmic, and if you're not gonna rush Miles, you're gonna put someone in the MCU live action. So you guys are gonna go Moon Girl or Riri?
Good point.
Yeah, and I want to say shout out to Life of Agni in the chat. Shout out to Life of Agni in the chat. I totally agree on New Agents Atlas. That's a slam dunk to me. Wave and Luna and there was an Io, Crescent and Io, and all those characters seem to be a lock. And again, if you read those books, Amadeus Cho is tied into those books, which is why I really feel like that will work. But it's all the same kind of thing. I think that the Asian market is so huge. If Marvel can tap into that and really hit, and then it's another genre because we can get Shang-Chi could give us a kung fu movie and more of an action type thing. I think it could be dope.
If the Shang-Chi movie has a version where it's badly dubbed, I'm all for it. That works. That's marketing right there. That's fucking marketing right there.
It is.
And I need RZA to do the score.
Yeah,
RZA's got to do the score.
Fucking marketing right there. Yo, for me, you got to bring in no. I'm willing to put money down that the Venom planet is mentioned in the next Venom movie, and you speed track to Null because Venom has no villains.
So apparently it's already been mentioned. Apparently, so
really,
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Remember the Exelon things that I was talking about? Apparently, they already made an appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy. So
the head of Unknown already made a.
So that's one piece because. So there's different theories about what happened, but according to Venom number 3, it was Null that cut off that head.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier. Yeah, definitely.
Right. So, but one of the Exelon, apparently he's in there. He's got a hood on and all this other stuff. So apparently he's in the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I got to go back and watch that interaction again. But apparently that's already in there as well.
And another thing I want to talk about, like spec wise, like the whole Nova thing.
Yes,
I had mentioned this before early on. Richard Rider, the new Nova.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it says in his bio he watches ESPN and loves Snickers. Fucking marketing all fucking day. Who fucking owns ESPN? Disney. Hello.
There you go.
Hello.
There you go.
Paint the fucking dots, goddammit. And motherfuckers laughed at me when I said this shit. You know what I mean? I was unappreciated elsewhere. You know what I mean? My time to goddamn shine, goddammit.
First scene, Nova sitting on the freaking couch, freaking just watching ESPN's eating on the stick.
Eating a fucking Snickers bar.
There you go.
Money. Get paid.
Who does get called by? Gets called by Kamala Khan.
Get fucking paid. Now, Miles Morales got peoples. Now we're gonna start speculating to Miles Morales. We speculated to his girlfriend, right? Now we gotta speculate to his peoples. Champions book down the line will be an important book because that's his peoples. They fuck with Miles. That goes back to Amadeus Cho. It goes back to fucking Kamala Khan. Richard Rider.
Right out of my mouth. Because you mentioned Amadeus Cho. We mentioned the Champions. That's what we did. That's the next MCU.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But by that time, those comic books that we have would fucking be brittle paper. Marvel's shitty paper to be disintegrated by the, you know what I mean? By the time we get there, you know what I'm saying? But it's real shit. I'm very happy with. I mean, Bolo and Vinny disagree, but I like Miles where he's at. Love him where he's at.
Don't hold my man back. Just don't hold my man back. Let him go.
I feel you.
And I go back to they waited too long with Charles Gambino to do that role. So if they wait too long for Shamik Moore, it's going to be the same thing. Then you're going to have to leave with the cartoon.
Shamik Moore is the one.
Right.
Bottom line.
But how much longer are you going to wait? Right? I mean, you can't wait too much longer. You have to introduce him.
He might be too old already. He might be too old already.
Right. Because he would have been a perfect age when he did Dope to do Miles. But that was the same time they were talking about Charles Gambino. So.
Right.
So
there are so many good young teenage actors out there, and they grew up on Miles. So
that kid from Snowfall, beast.
Also, if you were looking like years in advance, the kid from Blackish, I think he needs to grow a little bit, but in a few years, I think he could grow into that role.
True. The son, right?
Yeah. The young one.
I mean, yeah.
He has a great first name. He's named Jack.
Bolo. We're gonna keep it going. I got about. Damn, I don't got a lot.
Yeah,
of
I'm gonna run now, guys. I want to say thank you though for coming on. I'm glad we could argue our shit, and I love coming on and talking with you guys. You guys are some of my favorite guys to sit and talk comics with on a weekly basis.
Hey, listen. Next time one of your joints is on there, yo, if I don't mention it, get on my ass, like rightfully so, like you did before. You right.
I got you.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
But hey, I know I'm killing the messenger. It ain't you. It's the organization. But I'm still.
Hey man, fuck it, yo.
You're my guy.
I got to do what's right, and you're right. I should. Right. It was right is right, bro.
I appreciate it.
No doubt.
But
we all gonna continue on.
Vinny, Lucas, thank you very much, guys.
All right, thanks for coming on, man.
Before you leave.
Oh, he left.
I want to ask him about those variants. You know, we having a good time, man. We having a real good time tonight. You know what I'm saying, Lucas? You want me to add this to your stream?
Yeah, man. Because we were talking. I mean, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but we were talking about stuff that you might want to see or stuff that we might see. But I think this is the best place to start. So, because you know how Marvel, what they love to do is they love to add on stuff to the end of their movies, right? So one movie will set up another freaking thing that's going to happen later on, right? So, for instance, you already talked about Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi would be a perfect time for them to set up that whole Agents of Atlas. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, that's way down the line. That would be a perfect place to start to push what? Doctor Strange Academy, right? You got the What Ifs. The What Ifs is going to be a perfect place to push that Jane Thor. That would be a perfect place to do that. Hawkeye, that would be a perfect place to push the female Hawkeye. I forget what her name is. There's all types of opportunities for them to push good stuff. Even in Eternals, right? That would be a good place for them to start talking about Galactus and push Silver Surfer. WandaVision, if they would be awfully wrong if that's not the place where they start to push in the mutants, right? Because Wanda, she was the one that took out the mutants, right?
Oh,
so that would be...
I gotta mention something. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, hold on. Let me go back to the. Are you finished? No, finish the chart. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, WandaVision, that would be the perfect place for them to bring back the mutants because Wanda was the one that got rid of the mutants, so that would be the perfect place for them to start bringing them back. Black Widow, Falcon Winter Soldier, who knows what they might be able to bring through that stuff, but these are all perfect places for them to set up Phase 5 and keep it going. And once again, I think they said that this is not the final chart, but this is where they're going to start off. So what you got?
Lucas, you are fucking just you are the fucking just like the asset of everything. Like, I really do appreciate you for coming on, like for everything from the chat. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm glad to hear it because I've always got these ideas and I could see stuff going on, and so once again, this is how crazy freaking the principal defects was. I was able to take what they taught me. You guys have been on for 2-3 years now. I was able to take that stuff from back then, and I'm still able to apply it, and it's still working out for me. So if any of the people that are listening right now, if you haven't read that stuff, go ahead, go back. Freaking, it was only 100 episodes or so. Go ahead and freaking go back through that stuff and freaking.
I definitely love my time in the principal defects. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to go back now and dig out all my spec from my principal defect. When I remember I had this shit here on the refrigerator, I'm starting to dig that out. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is that, man?
That's my dog, man. He woke up in the middle of the night and he's let out. He's an old man. It's that time to be let out.
But there are definitely some books like that Contest of Champions variant with Spider Gwen and a fucking hold on. I gotta mute my man right quick.
Go ahead.
With a Spider Gwen and fucking Miss Marvel on it. That's one of their earliest cover appearances you want to get. You know what I mean? The Contest of Champions. Yeah. She's plucking
Yeah, with the ID and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing one of these things. Like, these are books that you're gonna want to get. And even though I do work for CBS, I do work for everybody, but I am comics heating up. I don't want to get that misconstrued. I'm comics heating up. I am a CBSI affiliate, but my allegiance is Chew, baby. You know what I'm saying? And I got another article coming out. I got another Easel Elevation coming out. You know what I'm saying? Coming up hopefully this week. And you guys gonna get a preview?
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You were talking about like that the whole timeline and everything like that. And as far as like spec goes, like the whole what if thing, we heard and we talked about how they're gonna look at Peggy Carter taking on Captain America. And Steve Rogers not getting the serum, but he's going to be put in an Iron Man suit. That's bullet points number 2, I think. Bullet points number 2 that he actually puts on the suit. Steve Rogers puts on the Iron Man suit.
Who wants to see that? I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see,
I don't want to see it.
But like that whole chart thing is not all movies either, right? Because wasn't WandaVision supposed to be like a sitcom? But
yeah, it's a TV series. Yep.
I hope they don't do that. But what if it's different? WandaVision, I think that would be continued. I would want that to be continuity to Marvel Universe. Mm-hmm. I read some spoilers from that, and it just doesn't sound good.
WandaVision?
Yeah, it just doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a chance that we might think it's just a sitcom type TV show, but it's all going to tie together.
She's flat. She's flashing about. Yo, listen. Spec wise, you got to think everything Scarlet Witch is going to go through the fucking roof, right?
Well, it either is, or they're going to mess it up so bad that
it becomes Inhumans. Right.
Ooh.
Scarlet Witch 3.
So bad that they killed them motherfuckers off. They had a whole series. They had a whole TV series, and just they killed them off in the comic books.
They just told Black Bolt to start talking. Go, just do it. Just kill everybody.
How the fuck do you share screen? Matter of fact, hold on, Lucas. I'm gonna see you something, and then you share your screen.
Okay.
Hold on.
Tantric, we'll lay down.
I fucked up. All right, hold on. Let me go to Lucas. I'm gonna see you this picture right here. Boo, 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 boo. Now, mind you, I'm not begging on this, but I'm curious. These prices on this book is kind of crazy right now. They're kind of crazy right now.
Where did you send it to?
I didn't send it nowhere yet. I fucked up.
Okay.
I gotta go to. I don't know how I'm gonna make it work tomorrow. God damn it.
Well, we were gonna try to do this again tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna be even more fucked up tomorrow. Check it.
Let's do 10 more minutes of this, and then let Mel go to bed. That way he's nice.
Now, I got 2 more after this. Then we're gonna wrap it up. So put the screen up.
Right. Let me just fix this a little bit.
And this is just a preview of what I'm working on for my peoples who stay with us tonight. You know what I mean? Let me get one more.
Share my screen.
You still trying to share a screen?
No, I mean, yeah, Lucas, where you at with it?
Got it. Should be there.
Yeah, we got. Let me add the stream. Can everybody see that? Okay, so this is Scarlet Witch number 3, Saya variant. Now, if you look at these prices right now, they all over the place. You know what I'm saying? This could be one to launch her back into the mainstream, and I think a 9.8 sold for me like $224 of this book.
Wow.
I don't know. I haven't finished doing my research on it, but keep your eye on this one. Definitely keep your eye on this one.
I mean, I think in today's realm of things, anything could go. I mean, the most horrible Peach Momoko cover is going for big bucks. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah. I mean, that obviously could go anytime, especially if that character gets hot. Period.
I'm throwing you. I'll give you guys a treat. I'm giving you guys one more treat for sticking with us tonight.
Nice,
Lucas. You got that?
Got it.
Lower that up for me, brother. But remember, Scarlet Witch 3 Saya variant. Now, we all going crazy over Miles Morales. We all going crazy over the villain. You can't afford his first appearance, right? Everybody's all big of first covers. Spider-Man 2, number 3. First cover appearance of the evil Miles. And he's fucking him up. He's giving him noogies. He got him in the stepfather lot. You know what I mean?
He got him in that Jody lock.
Yeah, that's that stepfather. What was that? That's that.
I told you don't be smoking weed in my house unless you're ready to share.
Big Williams. Big Williams got Jody in a headlock.
Yeah, yes. That is the baby boy homage. That is a baby boy homage right there. If you don't know the baby boy homage, that's it right there. I'm telling you. First cover appearance, baby boy homage. Mama.
Hey, I'm gonna go up to the LCS tomorrow and pick that up because I knew they already had like 3 or 4 of them in the dollar bins.
He said, "All I see is chocolate, bitch." Yeah, he fucking him up. That right there, if evil Miles Morales takes off, this cover right here, man.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
Well, I think like Jack was saying earlier, or what you guys were saying on the top 10. Anything Miles Morales right now, pick up. I shared that Miles Morales Spider-Man 4 second printing pink cover to you earlier tonight before the show.
Yeah, he did.
It's a high cover. It's just a matter of time where somebody comes across a cover and somebody that has influence puts it out there, hence Calvin Ellis, and it jumps to $50. I mean, that was a 2-3 day turnaround.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. And shout
And-
out to
Go ahead.
shout out to Ball. Shout out to Bolo. Shout out to Supermans. They definitely did their thing with that book.
And it was funny because like right before I came on last week, I watched that show. I'm like, oh, that's what's up. Because I picked that book up for a while now, and like I didn't think it was. I never thought it would take off the way it did. Never. And to see it happen, I thought that it was cool that it happened because I do think like the minority community gets underlooked, and I shared it on a Facebook page, and somebody's like, "Oh, I want a White Panther."
Right.
I'm like, "It's comics."
Well,
Like,
it's up to the minority community to actually buy the freaking books, right?
from
Yeah.
that too.
We got to be spending our money on more than freaking tennis shoes and freaking Cadillacs. That's
Yeah.
just the way that goes. No,
I think, like,
there's no reason why we should have Black Panther books, whether they're NG or 1.0s, still going for $50 to $60. There's no freaking way, right?
Yeah.
And that's not on freaking regular comic book speculators. That's on the community, right? Especially once again I've talked about this before, that there's a huge community of people that aren't even comic book speculators, but they know that there's value and that comic books can be a commodity. So, for instance, if I wanted to cross the border or whatever, and I wanted to be able to transfer about $10,000, there's 3 books that I can pick up that are $3,000 worth that I can freaking be and TSA and freaking Border Patrol would never be the wiser.
Yeah.
Right, so they got so our community, especially our on the block communities that freaking roll them rocks, need to understand that instead of freaking using money, they need to freaking get on these freaking comic books if we can start rolling around that stuff.
Bust some goddamn stock.
That's true. The only thing with stock is that it can be grabbed up by the Fed. You know, if they think that the money that was used was ill-gotten, but I can freaking I can buy a comic book for $3,000, freaking give it to my little 9-year-old little nephew, like, hey man, we go down the block with his little comic book and give it to freaking Sanchez and tell him life's good, and that's a transaction right there.
I got a shout out to Life of Agony. Life of Agony said he already dropped the Miles Morales Street. Life of Agony, you got a great month for comics. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll definitely give you a shout out. You know what I'm saying? When I post it up. You know what I'm saying? And he also said Miles Morales 10 is a 1 to 50 and 1 to 25.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Miles Morales 16 turns into Ultimate Medium.
I think I posted on IG like sometime last year. It was like a first appearance Friday, but my first appearance was like every time a black man took a white man's job, and I posted all them books. like I did.
Right. But on the downside, on the upside of that is that with this whole downturn in the economy, and I think I've said this before, a lot of those books with first appearances by minority characters, they dropped down and all of a sudden they came out. Those were the first books that freaking the prices dropped and that people started selling.
But you know what's crazy? I said this on the top 10. It's like a lot of comic book shop owners in certain parts of the country, they didn't order Miles Morales. That's why they hate these books, number one, and number two, because they never fucking order them. That's why they're so fucking rare.
Yeah. Because they can't relate to them. They can't relate to them.
Yeah, they don't want to relate to them.
Yeah, they want to relate to them, and they don't think that their customer base is gonna want them, right?
And the customer base don't want them in that part of the world.
But that's the funny thing. But they do, because as much as like they might want to deny it, hip hop and Jordans are in everybody's every youth's closet, right? It's there. It's there to stay, no matter what. So, like, whether or not they want it or not, it's going to be there.
Yeah, you're right. On that note, I gotta go to bed.
Yep, we're We're perfectly at what we said we were going to be at 2 hours.
2 hours. Yep. And I appreciate. Tomorrow's a big show. Tomorrow's gonna be like the 7-hour show. We can just talk shit. I ain't got shit to do on Sunday. Happy Father's Day to the fathers out there. Listen, thank you for joining us. And I am going to bed. Lucas, Vinny, I'll see y'all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, see you
Thanks.
tomorrow.
Thanks, Mel.
Yo, fans,
Hey, thanks,
I'll
Mel.
see y'all tomorrow. The motherfucking mini bar is closed.
Later, Lucas.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right, man.